Mr. Kim Gi-hyun, Director General of HCAP, Ms. Atena Trakadas, Co-Chair of the Ocean Decade Heritage Network, Mr. Miles Young from SPC. Greetings to you and greetings to all those who have gathered today for this program. I would like to commend HCAP, a Category 2 Center of UNESCO, and SPC for joining hands to bring this workshop to the Pacific. The topic of this particular workshop is of particular importance to the island states in the Pacific, but also elsewhere, because much of the intangible cultural heritage in the ocean states pertains to ocean, underwater, or maritime heritage. The intangibility part of it is displayed in the legends, rituals, symbols, and a variety of practices that the Pacific societies have. So whether we are discussing about the fishing traditions, voyaging traditions, or for that matter, the barter or trade in goods that existed in the past among the island states. All these are connected to intangible cultural heritage and intangible cultural richness of the Pacific. But before I discuss more about this workshop, I would like to take this opportunity to express my sincere thanks to colleagues who have been involved in organizing this program, in particular Frances at SPC and her team. Having said that, I cannot emphasize importance of aquatic, maritime, or oceanic intangible cultural heritage for the Pacific. It is a region of dispersed islands and atolls who are connected by a shared history of voyaging, of fishing, of trade. And these traditions are integral part of the legends, social and cultural practices, symbols, rituals that are still in practice in the Pacific. I think the importance of underwater or marine intangible cultural heritage is perhaps more pronounced today than it ever was, as we inch closer to the COP26, and we are trying to address the global challenge of climate change. We cannot but look back into the past and look back into the historical practice of the ancestors of the people of the Pacific who adapted to environmental changes, to erosion, and to a variety of natural hazards. And this looking back is not to only draw knowledge from the past, but also to use the technologies of today, to use the new knowledge that is being generated by the current generation, by the younger generation, and to bring these knowledge systems together to further enrich this intangible cultural heritage. It is important to highlight that the Pacific society, its culture, its heritage, none of these are disjointed or separate from one another. There is a strong interdependency between what is called culture, what is constructed as heritage, and these interdependencies are captured in intangible cultural heritage of the Pacific. I would like to conclude by wishing everyone a very fruitful day of discussion, and I'm sure you will have interesting and beneficial thoughts to share with one another, and also experiences to share between regions as you look into some of the examples from Korea, India, and other parts of the world. And I'm sure that the colleagues from these parts of the world would have a lot to take away with them from the Pacific. So wishing you a very pleasant time having these discussions, and I again congratulate ICHCAP and SPC for organizing this event.